Hi, volunteers. Today's video is how to use the QR code for attendance sheets correctly. There is a lot of information that is important and sometimes mandatory if marked with an asterisk that I want to make sure that the program team shows you. That way, while you or your students are entering the info, you are confident that it's done with everything filled out. Let's get started. Let's begin with the tutor attendance sheet. As I am marking this, I will make sure to use a red spotlight so you know where to focus. The tutor attendance sheet asks for your first and your last name. Please don't give any initials as we need to make sure we are inputting the right data for the right instructors. You'll put the date, and if you are confused about what day it may be, you'll click the calendar in the right-hand side of that box and the actual date will be listed. If you are subbing for a tutor, you'll click the drop down and put the tutor's name. All names are listed in alphabetical order by the first name. Your location is important as well, as we are able to quantify this information for which location you are at when we are sharing this with our executive board, donors, and other funding outlets. Classes are listed by class time. If in the event you do not see your time, first make sure that you are looking at the time of AM or PM. If, however, it is still not listed, please let us know as soon as possible. It only takes a few seconds for us to go in and edit to put an appropriate time. If by chance you skip an area on the document, a red banner will come at the top of your device that says there is a X number of errors on this page, and please correct it before moving on. You do not have to list how many students are in your class by name. However, knowing the student count allows us to correlate that information with what the students input. So if you pick 16 and we only have 12 who scanned in for attendance, then we have a very good idea of exactly who the remaining 4 people are who did not remember to scan for attendance. Your total travel time to and from class and total preparation class information is just as important. This information, as you see in red here, is relevant for timely retention follow-up and for organizational reporting. If we know it's taking you quite some time, then there may be days where you might need a substitute, or you may need someone to get the activity started for the students if we found out that there's traffic. But these things are all easily drop down selectable to be able to give us the information that we need. In the comments area, this is where you can put additional notes. If you've been contacted by a student directly who's informed you that, oh, we're not going to be in class. Sometimes they contact you first before they contact the Literacy Council. So you're able to put that information in there, as well as details concerning any absences or potential need for a substitute if they arise. After that, at the bottom of the page, there is a submit button. Now, since I'm sharing the screen right now, sometimes the word submit doesn't obviously show, but this is the area where you would click to submit it. On some of your devices, it immediately says it with white letters, but if it doesn't, you don't have to be concerned. This still does work. You'll simply click that blue button and the information will be sent over. For students, their page is purple. If you are logged on purple, then you are on the students area. Students have a little bit of different information that they have to input. Again, for the name section, please make sure that they put their legal first and last name. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to hover around everyone throughout your class time, but you do want to remind them multiple times throughout. If you haven't scanned the QR code to turn in your attendance information, please make sure to do so. Put your first and your last name as it appears on your government ID. It sounds like a mouthful, but saying it multiple times in a class to students who may come from a culture or environment where communicating as clearly as possible, especially when it concerns being late or not coming to class at all, can be very different for them. You are helping to reinforce personal and professional etiquette that we expect here in the United States to our students. Sometimes a student might be visiting a class. This is not as common for those of you who do not have rolling enrollment for your classes. So you might not see this clicked often, if at all. Given the circumstance that many of our students have similarly spelled or the exact same first and last name, they must put their phone number. This is an additional way for us to be able to identify in the system if they are who they say they are. Students do have student IDs, and those registration cards are green this academic year. And they do have a student ID number on them, but not every student is aware of what that is. On the back end of this, we are able to manually input that information, those being our data leads and data assistants here. However, phone number is easy enough for them to remember. We ask that they also put the date of their class, not their birth date. Many misunderstand this and put their birth date anyway. Just like it is on the volunteer attendance sheet, if you click the calendar, the actual date will already be highlighted. Finally, they can find the name of their tutor by looking for the first name, as it is alphabetized in the same way that it is on the volunteer attendance sheet. And if they do miss an area, the same red message pops up at the top of their screen. Class times are listed by time of schedule. If they say they are unaware of seeing it, then please, again, double check with them that they're looking at morning or afternoon or evening. And if it is not noticeable on theirs, to please let us know. That information is quickly updated. They'll select their location, and wouldn't you know it, their button says submit with no issues, but they are a purple button, and they will click submit there. Finally, for those who are office volunteers, you would have the same type of information to input, but you would let us know how long you're volunteering. And that would let us know in increments of minutes, and then it identifies hours. If there are additional notes that need to be shared, such as you were intending to assist with a tabling event, or you're available for an outreach observation or other things of the sort, that information can be put there. And their button is yellow and would have the letter submit in white. I don't know why it's abandoning the letters on this demonstration, but at least you are aware. This information is absolutely important to how we do our reporting and how we assist you in being able to make sure students are actually attending classes. Registration does not stop, but registration does not mean you are having students added to your class without it being communicated directly with you. If you are expecting more students than what's on your roster, or expecting less than what's on your roster, please make time to communicate that with the data leads. If you are unfamiliar with the responsibilities and tasks of the staff, you are able to reference that in the volunteer handbook. The volunteer handbook is located in your newsletters. However, we do have a copy of it physically bound outside of my office here at Emily Court, and we are able to email it if you would like to see it. Within the volunteer handbook, there is a section that explains the responsibilities of the program staff. So you know who your data leads are, your program specialists, and the various responsibilities that they take on, as well as who you will communicate with as it pertains to attendance. The entire staff for programs, not the entire facility, is listed in this area of your handbook. So this concludes this how-to. We hope that it is helpful, and if you have any questions, do not hesitate to let the program team know. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.